so much with these people, and including our like they're physically hurting us, like they could kill us. And a lot of them, they will. This is what happens. This is what happens, guys. Narcissists have this in them to harm you. They don't care. They want their way. They'll get rid of you in an instant, for money, or just to get you out of the picture, or just because they're upset, so they're going to put their hands on you. And
Right.
and like, and we tend to fixate on all the other stuff. But what I'll say about that too is all the other stuff is just as harmful and hurtful and damaging, and in some regard, isn't it true? Some even more so than the physical. I mean, isn't that horrible? They could put you in the hospital and you're still like, how many women had, or you're just like, how many times did you lie? And wait a minute, what happened or what didn't happen? And the gaslighting. And here tonight we're talking about this cognitive dissonance, so now you're 6 months out. And so, yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you about that.
No, I'm glad you're adding all of that, because it's important. And you're right. And, there is the physical part of it. And see, that's the funniest thing, because, he and I both grew up athletic. And I mean, we used to, when we were having the best time, we would literally get in our living room and spar with each other, put on music and spar and have a good time with it. Just be silly. So we had a physicality that we knew, but also other people knew, because we were just playful. We played badminton together. We threw axes together. I mean, we're very physical people. But when it got involved with the fight, it did go too far. And for him, like I just told you, and I'll admit it, I would slap him in the face. And I hate that I did that. This would never be what I would want to do, but I just get so furious.
I know.
So that was my fault. But in his end, he's a lot bigger than me. And, I would be choked up against a wall or thrown down on the floor, choked. And, talking to ex-girlfriends of his.
Did he have a substance abuse problem too?
Yes. Cocaine. And he'd already gone to rehab for cocaine twice. So he had a major cocaine problem. And that was in our relationship too. He introduced that early in our relationship. And so I think he just had a lot of ways he coped with, and I know he had a tough time growing up. His father committed suicide, his sister committed suicide, his brother had mental issues. I mean, that was one of the things we connected on. As you know, narcissists will try to draw you in with these things. But I knew he'd gone through a lot. I knew that when I worked for him 15 years ago, because I wrote all of his press and bio stuff, and I used to have to interview him and write press on him and articles and stuff. So, I always felt akin to him for that reason, I always thought that we could understand each other because of that. But I had no idea he was going to end up using it.
Excuse me.
Bless you. But I think so that's, and maybe that to me is the reason why cognitive dissonance has been a major thing. Because just like what you said a little while ago, there was that physicality, and that's what freaked my sister out the most, who she loved him like a brother. It freaked her out the most. And she always would tell me, when you think about ever wanting to be with him again, I just want you to think wood chipper, because that's where you could have ended up in. So just think wood chipper. And it's almost hard for me to think that, but given that there was so much violence in his family, I mean, his dad shot his girlfriend, thought he killed her, and then he committed suicide.
Oh my God.
There was that element in their family. So, the apple, they say. Anyway, I know the work that he'd done. I know the work that I'd done. I was proud of us at that point, in our lives. But really, I think because he's very good looking, has a lot of money, has a lot of status, he's been able to pick up the rug and put a lot of that on there and just put on a mask. Yeah. So, whereas I thought he'd done the work, I think it's more that he's had a mask. So toward the end, when he just thought that I might get out because we have so many mutual friends and colleagues and speak about him and about what I know, I mean, he started feeling really threatened. And I think that's the reason why it got really intense toward the end with us. But the cognitive dissonance, I think for me is, I'll just put it this way, Tracy, in the 6 months of just healing from this, it has been devastating and humiliating because he's moved on. with somebody else we all know in our industry here too. So I
Yeah.
had to just deal with all of that and be silent, because that's probably the best advice. I've only told close friends, and God works in wonderfully mysterious ways. And you say vengeance is vengeance is the Lord's. Thank God, because there were times, man, there were times I wanted to just speak out about what the truth is about him. But the truth of that is, it's already getting around, and I don't have to do anything.
Right.
Because if you just stay still and you stay quiet, God has a way. And I only, like I said, only told close friends of mine, and they were like, "Oh my God, he tried to call me and try to gaslight me and try to smear you." And I called him out and said he was batshit crazy. I was like, "Yay!" So
Yep.
things like that would happen, and you don't expect it. And I'm just grateful for that. Although I know he's colored a lot of people's opinion of me, but I also know the good friends that I could heart to heart have a conversation with about really what's happening, and not try to go smear him with his friends, which I never did.
Right.
He was doing that with me. Um, the truth comes out, and I'm grateful. And it sometimes takes time, but
Yeah.
like some days I still wake up, Tracy, and it's getting better and better. Thank God. And I was just walking around my apartment today, just making proclamations. I'm proclaiming and yay and moving forward in my life. But there's still some days, and I think we just have to allow ourselves these days. When you wake up and you're in a ditch of just like, oh my God.
Yep.
Because you wake up and you remember it, as you were saying, some of these things he'd say, like, uh, I don't know why I was with you. You were lazy. Um, why would I be with you when I can be with somebody younger? Let's see. Oh my gosh, you're a piece of shit. Let's see. I mean, that's just the beginning. Just all kinds of things toward the end. Um, you're nothing. Just I think that is their way of like trying to divorce themselves and separate themselves, so that it makes it easier for them to completely cut you out of their lives and just pick up and move on
And
with somebody else.
have absolutely zero guilt or shame about any of the things they've done. No remorse
Right.
whatsoever for any
And
of the things through.
and he picked up and is going on with another girl, and she's bought everything hook, line, and sinker, except for, I don't look at their social media anymore. I did before. I peek every once in a while.
Yeah.
But people sometimes tell me like, "Oh, there seems to be cracks in that," and I'm like, "How could there not be?" I mean, he is pretending to be somebody else, and I don't know what his real truth is. I don't know if he's just omni, whatever comes my way is who I am, but I just think he's the kind of person who needs constant attention, needs to know he's constantly relevant, constantly attractive, constantly desirable,
Yep.
and
Yep.
that's more important to him than having a real relationship.
That's right. You just said it. And that's exactly what it is for them.
Yeah.
They would so much as rather lose the love of their life, the best thing that ever happened to them, to be able to go around and get attention, by this one, that one, anyone.
Right.
And I
And to
have.
not lose that image they have in their whole community of like, I cannot forfeit this image. You're not worth it. I'm sorry. Whereas, it would have been so beautiful if you just like, I just have to come up and say, I don't know why I was doing that. You're right. You got me. And I need to look at that part of me. Maybe I am bisexual. Maybe I've had trouble with that. Maybe I need to look at that. I would have had so much more respect for him if he'd done that. But no, he completely shredded me, cut that off, and jumped right into something else to keep that image going,
Yep.
because it's
Well,
more
I have the
important.
video that the narcissist will go with anyone, and that is the absolute honest truth.
Yeah.
Um, I always say, watch out for people that tell you that their favorite idol is Marlon Brando. Be very careful when someone tells you that. No.
Why is that? Why is that? Did you have an experience with that?
Oh yeah, sure did, sure did. Yep. And that person is most definitely confused. And he knows who he is, and he watches the channel, so he knows.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about, buddy. And if anybody knows the story of Marlon Brando, I mean, Marlon Brando wrote a book about it, talking about how he loved just being loved, no matter
Yes,
who that was, and he went with anything and everything, and in those
exactly.
days that was like real hush hush, But he wrote a book about it in his later years, and he didn't care. He was I mean, Marlon Brando was
He
an
had to have been. He
narcissist.
had to have been.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that cognitive dissonance for me now, as I'm moving out of this healing phase and moving more into just, you know, a more fulfilled life, which, thank God, because I have to say, in so many ways, if God were going to send me, you know, a, the demon in disguise, as a creature of light, it would have been this person, because I'd had these feelings for him probably for a decade. So if I can get through this and see that someone could be so alluring and I got pulled off my path with something like that, and they just completely turned around and was such a freaking devil, then that has told me so much about more of the truth on a spiritual level, which
Yeah.
has helped me greatly to go, wow, if this is who this person is, that now has caused me to have way more discernment. I, to me, I've gone back on my um, path of being celibate, and it's like I told a friend the other day, I'll be celibate, I guess, for the rest of my life until I met somebody that's, you know, husband quality, because it has led to nothing but heartache. That's the one thing I can speak of to this day. It's just like, it's led to nothing of good. Just
Yeah.
one more time, never has led to anything good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it this way now. I'm going to do it the way God said now. But
Yes.
but
Amen.
the cognitive dissonance for me is this. It's like, did he love me? Was this other part of him he just couldn't get fixed? You know, why did he bring me down this road if he knew he was like that? Like, why did he have to do this to me? Why couldn't he just pull me aside and said, Christy, we go back a long time, and I'm sorry, but can we just stop now? I mean, why did he have to pull me through all of that?
Yeah.
So that was the cognitive dissonance that I've worked through, that I still sometimes am working through. It's just like, but was that real? And but then, oh God, when this is all this, and then he discarded me immediately for somebody else. So then you try to balance all that, and I've gotten to where I was telling you earlier, is that I just have to say he was sick and he's mentally ill, because you cannot figure that out. Me
Yeah.
trying to be there and go, it's just stopping my life. And I have to finally, when that comes out, I just put it at the feet of Jesus. I'm like, Jesus, here it is. Instead of like sitting there going, oh my God, oh my God. No, here it is, because I can't, and I will never figure it out.
It's true. It's so true. And you just said it. That's not for us. That is
Mm-mm.
not for us to be trying to help. You can't, I love when Derek Prince talked about you can't help people that don't want to change. You cannot help people that do not want to change. That is not for you. Get out of that, because that's
Yeah,
not your calling in life. It's not. That's way above us, um,
exactly.
when they show you that, did you feel at all? I know you did my prayer and fast. Was it last month? Did you
Um,
feel?
yeah, it was last month. Yeah.
How did you feel? I didn't really get to talk to you much after that, but has anything happened for you after prayer and fast, or just did you feel something happen during it or after it?
I did. I remember mentioning that was just like I was getting to more of like a peaceful place, like almost like a new plateau from like being in that subterranean world of just like, oh, intense grief. I really loved it because it was helping me to just, because something about fasting, you're not having to like, prepare a lot of stuff, and you've got more time to just um, be in those feelings and to reckon with them a little bit more. So I really loved that part of the fast, to just be in it, not try to flee, not try to eat, not try to drink them
Yeah.
away, but just like to be in them and get more of a deepening in it. And which, let's just be honest, it's only with narcissists that we realize that we've probably been with narcissists before. And there was probably a part of me trying to flee that in the past, which is why I had to deal with it again.
Yeah.
We deal with it until we finally allow ourselves to feel the depth of that pain. And, I think that this last time has been so deep and so unavoidable that I almost have to have some gratitude for it. And so, part of that fast was for me to like really connect in and just sink into it and not want to flee it.
Excellent. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you did that. So to let everybody know, I do run a prayer and fast group every month. Every single month I do it. So if you're interested, please make sure to email me at tracefaceit@gmail.com. And I also do one-to-one coaching, which Christy did as well.
Love
And
it.
I'm just glad that, I'm glad that people can find people that know and that have been through this and can attest. The other thing I'm going to ask real quick and briefly for those of you watching the video, anybody that has done my prayer and fast, I'm looking to find out any more testimonies of perhaps things that you were asking God for, because I had a session today. I'm so happy and so proud and just happy for her. She's moving on in her life. She found a new man, and before the prayer and fast last month, she asked God in July or before July to bring her a nice Christian man, and she's found one. And so she was like, she asked me today, do you have I said, well, I know of a lot of people that told me right after, like, that something happened for them during that week, or they felt like something break, like the soul tie. But I'm curious to know others out there that might have had questions or asking God for something and it came true. It might not have happened right after prayer and fast, but maybe within I've been doing this now a year and a half. So contact me if you have anything to share. I'm really happy that you were courageous enough to tell your story, because it takes a lot out of you to tell the story, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And I appreciate that too, because I think sometimes we can feel embarrassed, but I don't anymore, because I feel like that would be more akin to how the narcissist feels. That's why they keep hiding it. And I'm so happy just to share what the truth has been and to continue to grow out from it. So yeah, my pleasure.
And amen. Thank you so much,
Thank
Christy, for coming
you.
on the channel. I'm going to call you right back and hit stop the record here. Thanks
Okay.
again, everyone. I'm Trace Face. It's time we all face the truth together.
Thank you.